Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Welcome back.
Thank you, Abubakar.
Uh,
Alhaji too. Congratulations
Alhamdulillah.
on that.
Congratulations also. How
Yeah.
was the experience?
It was very interesting. Interestingly enough,
Mm.
I arrived in Mecca just 2 days before the Hajj began. We arrived on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
and Tuesday, Wednesday was your Mutarawi at the beginning of the Hajj.
Mm-hmm.
Makkah is a very interesting, environment.
Yeah.
Anytime you go, the environment becomes completely new and different.
Yeah.
And no matter, like you just came a few days ago, I'm sure if you were to go back next year, you see developments. You see interesting development, changes, drastic changes. I think the Saudi king
Mm.
has every right to call himself, to arrogate to himself the title of the custodian of the two holy places. They are doing a fantastic job to maintain, to keep the place and to make the Hajj facilities, to the Hajj process easy for Muslims. Although, like I always say, Hajj is, by definition, a very hectic process. No matter how rich, no matter how much money you spend, the 3 days of the Hajj, that's the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th of the Hijjah, they are always hectic. Those are the days of the Hajj. But thank God, like I'm saying, no blessings for a Muslim is greater than the Hajj. And anybody who paved the way for you to be in the Hajj definitely has given you the greatest blessing on earth that you can ever dream of and you can ever be given. And any year that you have the opportunity to be in the Hajj, that year you can never have a greater year than that one. So that is why it's a very, very great blessing for a Muslim to be fortunate enough to participate in one of the Hajj, particularly those of us that have the opportunity to do it more than once. The only thing that we can do is to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to the people that who facilitate going to the Hajj. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala richly reward them. And those that make people make it easy for people to go to Makkah, or those that facilitate the Hajj for other people, they are doing a very, very, very great service to them. It's a form of jihad because this is one of the pillars of Islam anyway. You cannot, your belonging to Islam cannot be fully completed or perfect in the absence of one of these 5 pillars. So it's a very, very interesting, experience.
If you thank those who facilitated your travel, I think I also have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'll have to especially thank the GIA.
Yeah.
For facilitating my travel to Mecca to undertake this significant pillar of Islam. Because Doctor, as you've said, you have a lot of rich people who are unable to go to Hajj, and that's what I would like you to talk about a little. You have some who have the wherewithal, more or less. They have the wealth, they have the health, but yet they cannot go to Mecca. You have some with the wealth, they don't have the health, they cannot go. You have some with the health, some without the wealth. Some don't have the health. They don't also have the wealth, but they are also in Mecca. So it's a kind of mysterious but yet interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. The fact of the matter is this. There was a call made by Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Anybody who answers the call will go sooner or later. There are quite a number of factors involved. Sometimes Allah's destiny could be the pure reason. Like last year, many people were prepared to go to Hajj. The President of the Republic paid for so many people to go, and some other people had the opportunity to go, but they couldn't go because of the lateness of the arrangement. The arrangement was a bit late. So fortunately, this year they were the first to go, although they had their missions, their trip prepared last year. So in other words, the time that when you answer the call, there must be a time that you must go. You cannot go beyond that time, you can go above that time, provided you answer the call. There are people who never answer the call. No matter how much effort you make, they will not be able to make it. Like this year, I was on an invitation from the Saudi government. I was made to understand in Medina. They showed us a list of some Gambians who were invited last year to go. They had done everything for them, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. You understand? They couldn't make it. So it is a very, very interesting situation. One must have answered the call, and also there must be the appropriate time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destines that you go to answer the call. So unless these two factors combined, you will never be able to go to. So it's a blessing.
And you said something, call.
Yeah.
This is traditionally said in our local languages, Otela.
Yes, yes.
Maningas will say Kumandirolem.
Kumandirolem.
Yeah, but can you go into the nitty-gritties of this call?
I think, like.
And who answered? We don't know when did we answer?
Yes.
It's sort of,
Yeah, I think
needs clarification.
To put it in the simple way is this, that, you cannot rule Allah's destiny out of the picture. There are people who've been destined by God to go to Hajj. Technically, these are the people that we call answered. We say answered the call. You understand? Although, literally, when Al-Quran was in Finasi bil Hajj, I took like the ayah says, when Sayyidina Ibrahim made the prayer that people should be going to that place to perform a particular rite, a particular religious obligation in the service of God. You understand? So there was a prayer from Sayyidina Ibrahim which was answered to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anybody who belonged to the millah of Sayyidina Ibrahim up to the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you are fortunate to be among the ones destined by God, you could be said to have answered the call. You understand? But I think the most appropriate thing to say here is that it has to be in accordance with what Allah destined. There are people who have this, like you said, have the wealth, they have they are resolved, they have the physical strength, but unfortunately they can't make it. Some people like prepared last year, they couldn't make it. They were waiting for this year to go. Unfortunately, before the time comes, they passed away. So which means that they were never destined to go. There are people who are still around. Every time they have the problem is not money, it's not physical strength, but the fact of the matter is simply they cannot go because they are not destined to go. And that is one of the most important thing that a Muslim should be praying for, is to be among the ones that Allah destined them to go. And that is why, although from the point of view of Sharia, one would be blamed, in fact one would be thought to be sinful if one qualifies to go, if one fulfills the requirements, financially, physically, health-wise, but he deliberately refuses to go. At least from the Sharia point of view, one would be seen to have been, to be sinful for not going. But the fact of the matter, or spiritually or theologically, Allah's destiny is definitely, in my humble opinion, the most determinant, the most important determining factor.
Doctor, last week when I came here, I said a little about this travel to Mecca. I was in a trip in a batch of people, most of whom were sponsored by the president. But Alhamdulillah, we can say that actually the president did extremely well, by fulfilling the desires and also the dreams of those whom he promised last year, and also a lot of people this year. Most of those sponsored, or a majority of those sponsored, wouldn't have had the chance to go to Mecca. One of them even told me that Abu Bakr said this for me. He said the day he was informed that he was going to Mecca, he said to me, "Suma koparinda walsa awmako."
That's very true. That's very true.
So imagine if from nowhere you never think in your life that you'll be going to Mecca, and just out of the blue someone just came and said to you, it's time to fulfill your last bit of Islam. So it can be very great. And I use this opportunity to thank the president for him, for the support. And also apart from the president's numerous generosities during the pilgrimage, by giving additional funds to most of the pilgrims, that is last year pilgrims, providing food for during the Arafat, and sending a special envoy, the Secretary General, to come and at least encourage us, remind us of the perpetual prayers, and goodwill from the Gambian leader. I think another group needs to be commended for their good job. That's the GIA. Actually, they are the carrier. They lifted pilgrims from the Gambia to Saudi, and they were able to measure above expectation. Yeah, they were able to measure above expectation, because most of us thought that Hajj was more than what we expected. But when we went there, by virtue of the lot of collaboration, a lot of efforts that the GIA did, and none of the GIA senior official was left here. Most of them were in Saudi, from the DG, his assistant, all of them were